Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 2 of Calling Me Survival. I want to start off with a bit of an apology for the last video's audio quality. I am still trying to figure all this out. I'm completely new to the game, so not this game necessarily, but the recording game. Um, your boy is not quite there yet. So, without further ado, I want to start with a little bit of a new lead going forward. I think, out of interest of your guys' time, I like to prioritize only showing you guys, little progress reports, how these guys are doing, because they take forever starting out. And I think maybe later on in the series, I will just do little highlights of what they've done, what I've done, um, how this whole not landscape but terrain comes out. If we end up building walls, all sorts of things like that. But yeah, I just think that's a better use of your guys' time, my time, and it'll be a heck of a lot more interesting for you all. So, with that said, I'm going to jump to maybe when we have 12 colonists or so, or just a little bit more. I'd like a couple things to be done. So, right now, if you look at the science field, we finished the wheat farming, we finished miners. Um, Really, we should get some smelters set up. So that includes splitting logs or splitting stumps, furnace. People are doing the smelting, and that will allow us to start processing copper, getting firewood, and getting all sorts of other things. We can start building with log walls once we have people creating them from the splitting stub. And then we also need in this episode people who are going to start doing lumber management for us, or foresters. So we will set that up in the meantime. I've already set that up over there, but we are going to need a lot more than just one person doing that. So without further ado, I'm going to jump ahead and I will see you guys soon. As you can see, a decent amount of time has passed, and as of now, we are now sitting pretty at a little over 250 food. I found out we have way more farm space than necessary. When we left off, there was just this first level here, and I've since expanded that and semi beautified it up. We still need to work on those stairs and whatnot, um, but we're getting there slowly but surely. I like the idea of not just having floating farms, or floating floors, as you can tell. But let's just start with the farm. So far we have 3 levels here. You do the math, and each level produces 400 wheat every day. Not every day, every 2 days. Um, they have a couple. Some of them have crops that are in between cycles. So really, it's about 200 a day. But we'll just call it 400 every 2 days. 3 levels, that turns that into 1200 every 2 days, roughly, or 600 every day, roughly. And so 600 wheat at maximal production. You come down here. I've beautified their living quarters a little bit. They're no longer living in a shed. Some of them are still exposed to the elements, but we're getting there slowly but surely. You see, these guys are all making wheat gruel, and my goal is to keep the food limit over 250. We have 28 people so far before I recruit some more, and that'll just give us a sense for how much wheat we're producing, how much we're using, and if we can actually sustain the number of people we have. My feeling is we have way more wheat than necessary, and I say that because we have 2,536 wheat. We could turn off wheat production probably for a good number of days, and be fine. It takes 6 wheat, as you can see down here, 6 wheat to make 1 wheat gruel, and we need 28 meals a day. So let's just do some really basic math real fast. Pull a calculator, because even though it's basic math, I'd rather not do it. So 28 meals a day times 6 gruel, or 6 wheat to make the gruel. Basically, we need 168 wheat a day. And these guys have to make 28 meals a day. So, that said, how much wheat do we have? We now have 2,578. So, really, you do 2,578 minus that previous answer, which was 168. And that gets you... Oh, 1 second. That can't be right. Let's try that again. 28 times 6. That's a 168 wheat that we need per day. And I'm sure it's increased again. So we are at 2,649. 2,649. Let's divide that this time by 168. We could turn wheat production off for now and survive for 15 days. So we are doing very well. Much better than I first realized, because I didn't realize it was the tinkering table that was used to produce it. I thought it was similar to the berry farmers, which you'll now notice they've all been fired. And in their place, I made a little bit of a maze, because as you can see, our threat level has gone from 0 to 0.9. I've also assigned a nighttime guard, and that's more just to be safe for now. I really haven't seen any monsters appear. I don't know what threat level they start appearing at, but I guess we'll see. Another thing I've done is I've really just gone around, and I talked about trenches, but I really don't like how those look, and I'd prefer, not prefer. I'd prefer to keep a semi beautiful base, or my standard of beauty. A base that kind of looks well kept while also serving a decent amount of functionality. So, I mean, you could argue that even this little inlet isn't necessary because the monsters can come out and walk like that and walk like that. But then most of the time they're going to be exposed, and we can have guards on the other side just taking care of them. That said, it's pretty much to the point where the only entrance is through that maze. So I did a lot of terraforming over here. It's been a decent amount of time without you guys. It's been about, I want to say, 2.5 hours. So I was able to get a lot more done than my decent progress from last time. So get 1,200 wheat a day. Only need 168. So I mean, we could do even a little bit more math right here. Monsters can't get up 2 blocks, so they really do have to path all the way over to our little maze over here, which sucks for them, but is great for us, because eventually, when they're going up and down to try and get to our flag and kill off our colonists, we can just have several of these guards stationed at each little inlet, or even along the inlets, or along the barrier wall. The only area of concern for me is when we go back up to the colony tab, and yeah, colony point tab actually, and you see the banner safe zone. Eventually, when we can expand this out to like 100 blocks, this is kind of like our fort, or our castle in a way. I mean, it surely doesn't look like it, but it's our inner sanctum in a way. It's where our banner should stay, and as we expand out, we can create similar little forts like this. Yeah, I think this is a good place to stop for our first episode. I'm sorry you guys missed out on so much, but I'm really happy with where we are right now. We have way more wheat production than necessary. I'm just gonna run the math real fast. So 2,649 is where we were at last. And that would allow us to do 15 days. So we're only consuming 168 wheat per day. So we're producing 600 wheat roughly per day. If you divide that by the wheat we're consuming per day, 600 is how much we're producing roughly every day, and 168 is how much we need to make the meals for the day at our 28 colonists. We could increase by a factor of about 3.5. So, I mean, we don't really have the food to recruit another 50 or so colonists, but we could definitely go up to maybe 30 or 40, and just kind of feel the waters and see how that works. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me in this episode. I will be back with more progress, and hopefully we can make some further advancements. I've kind of just sidelined these for the entire time I've been playing, but we certainly can start assigning miners to stockpile clay for us, and we can work on increasing that threat, which will certainly make things a lot harder. But yeah, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.